Gravel has been good to me. I've been all over the world to ride my gravel bike. I've been able to see and experience so much through the power of gravel bikes. But a change I would like to see is more Black people riding gravel and showing up at gravel events. So I'm creating a scholarship program so people who look like me can get access to these gravel events that I like so much. My name is Nehemiah Brown. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm a husband, I'm a father, and I'm a rider for Flashpoint. I started riding gravel back when I was a teenager. We just called it riding dirt. It was the 90s, I had a rigid mountain bike, and I was riding in the hills of Northern California. Fast forward to adulthood, I did some road riding, dabbled in crit racing, and as gravel biking gained popularity, of course, I found myself riding a gravel bike and attending gravel events. But the one thing that really stood out was there's not a lot of people there who look like me. As a member of Flashpoint, I'm on board with the mission to create change in the sport of cycling. And I'm very fortunate to be working with sponsors who not only support me as a rider, but also support the community activism that's really important to me. And I'm committed to make sure that people from marginalized communities feel like they have a space and that they belong and are welcome in the sport of cycling. When Flashpoint first launched, us as a team had these amazing experiences. We got to go to gravel events all over, and I know I had a great time. So now my focus is, how do I create something similar for other people in the community? People who may not have this much exposure, people who are newer to the sport of gravel. How can I make it so they can show up at a gravel event and have a great time? So I did some thinking, and I got motivated to create a scholarship, or you can call it an equity grant program, because I feel it's really important that we make sure that this sport is not just accessible to the affluent and to the privileged folks. The way it is right now, you can spend a whole month's rent to do a weekend of gravel racing. I'm really excited about creating on-ramps into the sport of cycling for people who look like me, so I can share the joy of what cycling has brought to me. Cycling allows me to unplug. Cycling allows me to connect with nature. Cycling allows me to challenge myself physically, and I feel like I show up as my best self in other aspects of my life. I have all these benefits, but I maintain a vision of being out and seeing more people who look like me riding the trails and showing up at events. 2023 is going to be an interesting year for me. I got to balance being a new dad along with my passion for going out and getting some gravel racing done. So I'm focusing on the Grasshopper Adventure Series. They're 2 to 3 hour drive from home and some of the most challenging days you can have on a bike. So I picked up the phone and I called Miguel, the founder of the Grasshopper Adventure Series, and I said, Miguel, I've always had a great time at your events, but I want to increase diversity there. Would you be willing to work with me to create a scholarship for Black and brown riders? And guess what? He was on board right away. I think his exact quote was, absolutely, let's make this happen. Now with the scholarship in place, I reached out to the different cycling organizations here in the Bay Area, talked to folks in the East Bay, San Francisco, South Bay, and made them aware of the scholarship. And we started planning community rides so their members that are new to the sport of gravel can come out, get comfortable, and be ready to take on their first gravel adventure next year. I've got this vision for 2023. I'm at a Grasshopper, I look to my left, I look to my right, I see folks who are there because they got access to the event via the scholarship program. So I encourage everyone to look around in their community and see how they can help move the needle, because we all have a part to play, and big change starts with small steps. And for those of you who feel like you're on the outside, looking in, curious about gravel, just understand, I've been there, and I'm gonna always do my part to make sure that you feel welcome, that you feel like you have a space, and that you're included in this sport. All right, so what you think, man? I know you've summited Tam many times via the road, but today we got you out here on the dirt.
Yeah, it's been great. There definitely needs to be more of us out here.
I will be happy to see more black cyclists. I know there are a lot of us out there who wants to be part of cycling, but for one or two reasons they hold back. Just for more of us to come out and enjoy riding, whether it's road or gravel, and also it will encourage the rest of us to be part of the sport.